My name is May Hong. I am the speaking voice of Mira from K-pop Demon Hunters. And this is Moana Nui podcast. Signing off. Happy fans. Do it with me. Happy fans. Happy Hon.
Good evening, everyone. It's evening in most places. Welcome to another exciting show. My name is Joy Stevens. I'm going to be your moderator for the evening. Welcome to the Moana Nui podcast in conjunction with Carnell Holley Pictures. And today our topic is going to be BIPOC talent in the voice acting industry. And so I want to start off by, we're going to have a really good discussion, but I want to start off by allowing everyone to introduce themselves around the screen. And I'm going to start this way with Nadia. If you would please let everyone know who you are.
Hello. My name is Nadia Marshall, and I'm a voice actor and soprano. I started my voice acting journey technically in 2016, and it's been a wonderful ride, and I've been full-time now since 2022. I specialize in genres like commercials, video games, non-broadcast narration, and you've heard me in things like Zenless Zone Zero, Code Vein 2, Digimon Storytime Stranger, and yeah, excited to be here. Thank you.
Cool. I'm going to go my other way, this way. Now, thank you. Oppai Princess.
Hi, I'm the Oppai Princess, and I have been voice acting for, I want to say, probably 4 years. I specialize in doing horror animations and horror video games, so I'm usually the final girl. If you've ever heard me, it's probably been in, what is it called? The Fear Business, projects that are done by Torture Star Video, as well as Horror Shorts Party. I also have experience in doing voiceovers for implementation videos for companies as well. And I am also a content creator and cosplayer and YouTuber and streamer.
All right. Okay, we're going to go down just below you. We've got Imari.
Hey. Hi, everyone. My name is Imari Williams. I'm a voiceover actor, on-camera actor. Been first job for voiceover 2007, so I've been in the game for a little bit. I work for commercials. I do anime. I do narration. I do promo. Basically, whatever I can get my voice on, I will do it. I will burp on the mic. I don't care. I also I have a small on-screen presence, working to get that beefed up. But right now, you could probably hear me on, if you hear Acura at the end of the Acura, that's my voice for that. I've been doing Acura Radio, Acura for a while. I've been with them for a minute. If you hear Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, Reese's Oreo, that's me on there as well. If you watch animation, I'm on right now Sakamoto Days. I play Jiro on Demon Slayer. For video games, I'm on Halo, Hyperius. I need to get my IMDb. Like, listen, I'm not bragging or anything, but after a while, you start sort of kind of putting everything together. But I'm on video games as well. So yeah, thank you so much for having me today.
You need a CV to help me with that. That's what I do in my day job. But now we move over to.
I'm gonna talk to you after this then.
Okay.
All right.
Carnell, please introduce yourself.
Hey, Carnell Holley from Carnell Holley Pictures. I'm a YouTuber. I dabble with the acting from time to time. Being on this panel with everybody, I'm just like, man, I got to get my voice acting levels up. I'm about to geek out because I want to get into what Nadia mentioned about the Code Vein 2. She had this geek out moment. I was just like, oh, that's so awesome. It's on brand because it's for what we're about to get into. But that is who I am, and glad to be here.
Okay. And we can jump right into it. First off, I just want to say, listening to all of you introduce yourselves, I can see why you're successful voice actors, because y'all lowered my blood pressure by like 10 points.
You have a good voice yourself, by the way.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting into all y'all's business. But we can start. Carnell, you mentioned you wanted to go back to that geek out moment, so we can start there.
Oh, right. Because most recently, because I follow everybody, so it's kind of, I'm trying not to make it. It's like, hey, because you put it out there, and I was like, oh man, that's cool. I see it. Because Nadia, you mentioned that you had a chance to play yourself because you voice acted the character, Holly Asturias.
Holly Asturias, yes. Mm-hmm.
So which is a brown character, which is totally awesome. So
Totally.
how far are you in that?
So the game is quite hard, and I'm not that gifted of a gamer, so I haven't actually gotten to the section where I meet my character yet. But I couldn't stop myself, and I had to watch other playthroughs and other people play it. So, but there was a really surreal moment that Carnell was speaking of on my stories, where it was one thing to be in a video game and to have a digital copy, and I have played a video game where I am one of the characters you can play, like that's still really cool, but it's another thing to be able to hold that game in your hand. And I was able to purchase a physical copy of the game.
Ooh, nice.
It was just like this feeling washed over me of like, holy cannoli, like it's I don't know if you can curse on here, so that's why I'm censoring myself, but it was, you're welcome, but it was so surreal to be like, you have this dream or you have these ideas of, and then you're holding it in your hand. Like, this is a representation that you did it. And hopefully many more to come. So that's what he meant.
Okay. Definitely. That is awesome. It's kind of, like a literally full circle moment, like holding your own baby. Like, I did this. Look.
Yeah. I created it. I'm here. Yeah.
Right. I want to we'll start off with the basics. You all mentioned like when you got into voice acting, or like how long you've been doing it. But
some audio issues.
Carnell, we can still hear you, babe. Can you hear us? Anyway, so I wanted to talk to you about, there's so many people that try to get into voice acting or into entertainment as a whole, and you all have figured it out. And I want to ask you, what was it that you think, aside from determination, what was it that made you successful?
Oh, who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I am very stubborn, and I think you have to be for something like this. Like, as kind and sweet as I claim to be, I'm a very harsh critic of myself, and I don't really like, it's okay, like rejection happens and stuff, right? But in this type of thing, like, you have to get used to it and get thick skin. So for me, one of the things that I had started doing was cold emailing, and there were a lot of ghosting or no's. And even if there was a no, I felt like, okay, I can work with a no because I can, try to turn it around. But even still, when I got a no, it was like, hey, not right now, but in the future, which means you'll have to follow up with them. So I ended up making like this really extensive Excel sheet. And I think this is where the corporate side of me gets in, because I'll have columns for the last time that we spoke. Was it a yes or a no? Just notes about the conversation that we had, and links to the email itself, just so I can go back and circle back with them. But I think what really helped me be successful was that I kept calling myself a voice actor, even if I hadn't had consistent work. And eventually I got consistent work and I got consistent clientele, because at some point it's not about just trying to find the next big project that you want to call your magnum opus or whatever, but it's more so about having that relationship and that rapport with those people that you can come back to, and they can just, keep feeding you work, and then like word of mouth and stuff from other people, because believe it or not, game devs and animators, they talk. And they're always geeking about on their next projects. And it's like, oh, so who do you know? And they'll just recommend me to other people. So,
yeah. And I like what you said about basically, because I was a sales manager in my former life, and you described a customer resource management tool, CRM.
Oh yeah, CRM. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, okay, when's the last time I talked to them? And to follow up, and like that constant farming of your list can lead to new leads. We do. Corporate pays millions of dollars for the exact thing that you built on your own. So
they do.
Yeah, awesome. What about the rest of y'all? How'd
You
you
want to go,
make it
Nadia?
past
Sure.
the masses? Yeah.
Are you,
Hey, Nadia.
I had some audio. Are you hearing me
look
now?
We heard you the whole time, Carnell.
the whole time.
He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Can you hear us is the question.
Oh,
You can hear us?
so I got a call. So like it knocked out the I can hear you now, but okay. Glad it didn't say nothing crazy. So
We were
We
trying
heard
to
about
make
all
sure.
your we heard about all your
Yeah.
after hour plans. We heard about all your after hour plans and all your
Mhm.
alter ego life. We heard all about it.
Yeah, we heard all about the club, everything.
Also, hi, Imari.
Hey, Nad.
Too funny. No,
man.
I think Oppai Princess put it very well that this is
Good
definitely
times.
a marathon. Oh,
Mhm.
okay. It's a marathon, not a sprint of a
Right.
career. And you have to be comfortable with the idea that this will not happen within a fortnight. It just
Right.
won't. You have to be willing to put in the reps, put in the work. Especially, I'm also involved in the opera industry, and we deal with rejection daily. Like it's a regular Tuesday. We have what is called we jokingly call in the business a PFO, or a please F off letter that we get from companies when they don't want to hear us. So all that to say, rejection, I was like, oh, that's nothing. Right.
Mhm.
But I think also what it comes down to is you have to be willing to understand just because you may dream of doing a certain genre doesn't necessarily mean your voice is perfectly suited for that genre, or you may not have known that your voice might be perfect for something else.
Mhm.
That like if you dream of going into animation and gaming, and I mean, who isn't, right? But you might realize, oh, my voice is perfect for medical narration, or it's perfect for explainer videos because that's what a client wants to hear. They want to hear someone that sounds like an employee of that business.
Mhm.
So pivot and
Mhm.
be willing to try something new throughout the marathon of what this career is going to be.
Right.
I want to come back to that just in a moment, but first I want to get Imari, get you a chance to talk about your skyrocket fame from 2007, because that was way before most of us knew what voice acting even really was. Yeah.
You know, it's so funny to be in this age right now with such a light shined on voiceover acting because I was raised I went to LA High School for the Arts, so I was originally going to be I always wanted to be an on-camera actor, always. I went to this magnet school called LAXA, LA High School for the Arts, and I went there for the visual arts department instead of the theater department because my mama was like, "Yo, if you're gonna go there, I want you to get a job that's gonna benefit you." You know, I'm an LA boy, so
Mhm.
everyone in LA they want to be actors. You know what I'm saying? Like that's everyone's dream is to be an actor. And my parents are a little old school. I have four parents. My mama remarried. My papa remarried. And all of them went to school, graduate, you know what I'm saying? Like my mama graduated by herself, put herself through college, graduated for a commercial for communications, was like worked as the first Black female news manager in KTLA, Channel 5, CBS. Second father's a psychologist, put himself through school. My biological father is a pediatrician, and my second mama is a nurse. Now she put herself through doctorate school and became a doctor. So I have these professional parents, but me, I frolicked in front of the TV. I frolicked with impersonations. I frolicked just making up stuff. So I always wanted to be on camera. Went to LAXA, did visual arts, love visual arts. That's more of a hobby. Graduated. I told my mama, yo, I want to act. And so she put me through this class with this woman named Leslie Kahn, who I still, who's a great theater, who's a great scene study coach. Chickened out in my 20s, got really scared, partied, distracted myself with party. And then encroaching 30, I was like, shoot. I was like, I'm almost 30. And I'm like, I'm fooling around. I'm kind of like, I didn't graduate college. I went through city college for 6 years and just didn't know what I want to do. I knew what I want to do, but I was scared to do it. And I was really like kind of dipping my toe, did not fully commit, did not fully, and then I went to a life coach and she was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, oh, I really want to act. She goes, okay, well, you want to start making money? I was like, well, I would say if I want to make money in the industry, I'll be an editor because I love movies, blah, 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 romance, blah, blah, blah. I'd say something I could like learn and make money doing that, within a few months, whatever, And she was like, well, instead of going to college and putting yourself in debt, why don't you work at a place that edits commercials or edits film and learn on the job while you're making money? And I was like, it was the best advice I ever did because that's exactly what I did. I followed her advice. I got a job at this place where I actually still work doing scratch tracks for any of those out there. Scratch tracks is a track that you lay down before you actually hire the vocal talent to lay down the track for a commercial, or it could be like for a narration. They'll use an understudy track. So I worked at this place that cuts commercials. They heard my voice. They're like, oh, can you do a scratch track for, at the time, Burger King? The guy named Lance was the key voiceover actor. But I can sound like Lance. He sounds like this. And I was like, yeah, I can do a Lance. And I was like, he's like, so I kind of did his voice. And then other people were like, oh, can you do this? And then so I started doing all these scratch tracks. And then my first job, I did for Sony Cybershot, and the assistant editor was like, yo, can you put a voice on this, but don't do anything that has anything extra, no extra sauce, no caricature, just do you. And I had never taken acting classes before this point, right? So I was like, what the hell is that? So at the time, Apple had this campaign where they had a guy who spoke very, very calmly. And this is the new Apple Pen, and the Apple Pen will do this for you. So I was like, oh, I kind of like emulated that. So I was like, it was for the Sony Cybershots, like watch your favorite TV shows like you watch your favorite movies in high definition. High definition, it's in our DNA. That was my first commercial I ever did. Got residual checks, got $12,000 off that. And I was like, oh my God, I'd never gotten that. Started getting checks in the mail because they Taft-Hartley me because I wasn't part of the union. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, damn, paying off. Like I'm making $8.25 an hour getting this. And I'm like, how do I get more? Right. So I took classes, I studied, and in the meantime, I'm doing these scratch tracks. You
said you're making $8.25 an hour?
I was making $8.25 an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. Moving cars in the video in the vault department, black coding tapes because we had tapes before the red cam came out. Delivering OMFs to all the facilities, which I'll talk about later. Got me in with a lot of the editing house or the sound houses. I got a chance to meet all the producers for sound houses and stuff. And then one year I was working at Cosmo for 5 years and I was auditioning and I was like, damn, I just want that one spot because I kept on doing all these scratch tracks and I'd get close. And then one was for Toyota and I missed out on that. And I, had to see the actor come in and actually who got it. And I was like, damn, I really wanted it. And I just, something kept telling me, yo, Mari, this is a cool path. Like stay on this path. And so 5 years working there, I got Acura. I got a new campaign for Acura. They had been testing it out at Cosmo for like 5 months and they went through voices. I was a scratch track and they kept coming back to me. And then one day they were like, you want to be the voice? And I was like, so I screamed. And then that year, I called the golden year. That year, I became the voice of Applebee's, Acura, Pizza Hut, and yeah, those the big three.
Nice.
And so like I had those coming in, and then it was just like boom. Like I was like, oh my God. Like it was almost as if the universe was like, here's your reward. Because it was very uncertain at that point. By that time I had like 2 kids, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm in this 1-bedroom apartment. And it was, and then that was it. That was when I was like, okay, I'm there. And then after that, it was kind of a steady, my main thing was trying to maintain stability. But yeah, it was a golden year. And then it all went away. I'll talk about that later. But that's how I started.
Okay. Yeah. It's interesting what you're describing at the start was an apprenticeship, basically.
Basically, yeah. Basically, it's an apprenticeship without even knowing what that was because, I had no idea. I've always done voices. I've always loved to listen commercials. I've always paid attention to who was on commercials, always. And so I've always, when I came in there, I was like, I understand the rhythmic of it. I was in gospel choir. I love music. So I understand the musicality of stuff. I want to be a hip hop artist. So I like, the ebb and flows of how you deliver and how you add emphasis on things, you know what I'm saying? That kind of, got hip to that. And all that stuff I use for voiceovers, my on-camera training, my
Mhm.
musicality, all that stuff
Mhm.
coalesced with voiceovers, and it was a perfect combination to get me to where I am now.
Right. So I want to double back to something Nadia said a second ago. Or Carnell, I'm sorry. This is your show. Is anything that you wanted to ask before I move on? I think he's delayed.
Oh no.
No, I'm looking at the information. No, because it's funny that I had a chance to interview Nadia and Imari. I haven't had the pleasure yet. You know, the Oppai Princess. So I'm getting the playback from the live because I can't hear the current.
Oh, so it's a delay.
Give me a sec, because that just threw me off. So basically, for the whole thing, I mean, it's just real crazy that I'm like, all right, I know this, and then him playing back. I really wanted to hear like, oh, he's about to do the Lance voice. I heard that. Okay, and then Nadia. So the whole reason why we're here with the BIPOC live thing, was I the only one who didn't know what BIPOC was until recently, or am I just not catching up?
No, I knew what it was.
Well, I feel like they toss it around like parsley. It's everywhere.
Yeah. It really gained speed around 2020, 2021 after the online death of George Floyd, in addition to all of the stuff that happened after that. And so next thing you know, you're hearing more Black, Indigenous, people of color, in the BIPOC. And sometimes there's some solidarity, sometimes there's some not so much. But to your point, Oppai Princess, yeah, people do throw it around like
parsley. You say like parsley.
Seasoning.
Garnish.
Yeah.
But Nadia, I wanted to double back to you because it's actually two things between something that you said and something that Imari said. We're just gonna keep going. And I think that you mentioned before, we'll get to that in just a second, blurredography. You mentioned before about pivoting, and maybe your voice is good for this and better for that, and it may not be what you envisioned. And when I talk to people at cons and they're always like, I want to be a voice actor, they want to go straight to voicing like, Naruto, like, bro, you ain't about to get that.
Who doesn't?
Right. That's how most people experience voice acting. That's it.
Who doesn't?
But yeah, every commercial you hear, there's a voice, usually of an actor, right? And so pivoting, I do have some other friends in this space, and I know that they do massive work for corporations. Sometimes it's just, I think Oppai Princess, you mentioned it's like voicing computer-based trainings or something like that, and that's solid. So that gets me to my next question. What percentage of your work is the dream stuff you thought you wanted? And what percentage is, I still get to do this full time as long as I pick up some of these other gigs?
Absolutely. Fantastic question. And actually very fitting that you point this out. I've started to be more aggressive about tracking the auditions that I get in. So for example, when I looked at this month, I don't know about you, Imari, but I've been seeing an uptick of auditions from, tends to be around this time, January, February, June, July. It tends to be a little more of a valley compared to a hill. But this month in particular, I think this is kind of the year where people are over the AI slop, and like the fear of like AI is going to take our jobs is sort of, we're starting to calm down. The blood pressure is lowering. So thank God. But to answer your question, I probably say at least 50%, let's just say a generalization, at least 50% is the quote unquote not sexy stuff, the more behind the scenes, the corporate, the medical narration, the explainer videos, that sort of thing. And then the other 50% is usually split between like commercial, video game character work of that nature, of more of the dream things. So I think also sort of to our previous question of sort of having this longevity of a career, you have to be comfortable with the idea that in order to pay the bills, you got to do the unsexy stuff. That's what's going to keep food on the table, keep a roof over your head. get used to doing that. And honestly, when it comes to voice acting, you're still acting even within that genre. You are still a character even within that genre. You may not be a doctor, but you play one on TV. You have to sound convincing enough. You have to sound as if doctor to doctor, business to business. I know what I'm talking about, even though if I don't know what this drug does. I have to sound as if I do.
You need
So
to know how to pronounce hydrochlorothiazide, you know.
Right?
Ooh, he rolled that off so nice, Joy. That is rolled off so nice. Off, you know, that was
That's the medicine I
You're
take.
gonna talk later. You're gonna be a voice actor by the end of this podcast. But
Look, don't threaten me with a good time, right? That actually was something you mentioned takes me back to a question that Blurography put in here earlier, that around the differences between acting and voice acting. I think you already gave us a bit of a summary about it, but I want to ask other people because according to our friend Mark, friend of the show, is there a difference in why? And if so, why is it only an American concept? Because if you look at other countries, they don't do actor versus voice actor. There's the same thing. So what's your take on this?
I'll get that one because I'm in the midst right now of being on camera right now, and there is no difference. There's acting is acting. You cannot be a voiceover actor if you don't like acting. It's the same thing. You're acting on audio, and you're acting on camera. The difference for on camera is I can convey emotion with just you looking at my face. Voiceover acting, we got to convey the emotion through our voice. You know what I'm saying? We have to do, we have to bring the words that you see more on the page a little bit more exact to life. And not only that, but like different ways of people, how the way people want that delivery delivered, is always evolving. When I was first going off for commercials, it used to be that like, come to Toyota, get the new Toyota RAV4 and blah, 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 blah. The new Toyota, I'm loving, you know what I'm saying? Like that stuff, right? And now
I remember that voice.
Toyota, right? Or for an Old Navy, remember this vaudeville Old Navy when the guy sound like this? They'll come down to Old Navy, blah, blah. And those were like more stylized voices, right? But now they want the dude next door. They want you to talk about prostate cancer like I'm having a beer with my homie. Well, how do you do that, right? You got to, you have to figure out how to lock yourself in a scene. You have to figure out how to put yourself in an environment where you're explaining something to somebody, right? Visualization. What is your object? What is your object? What's your objective? Exactly. What's your objective? And how do you get there, right? How do you get that in a real way that conveys that? Well, you have to believe it, right? And you only believe that through acting. So I think a lot of people have their own interpretations of what they think voiceover acting is. There is a difference of how it's done in America and let's say done in another country, like let's say Korea or the UK, right? We have certain standards set up here that we're used to. They have a different way over there. In Canada, they have a very similar system to how we have here. You know what I'm saying? So everyone's system is different. But make no mistake, voice-over acting is acting. And so one's on camera and one's not. And that is the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like that is all difference. If you ever seen someone on and you'll see someone who's been on camera, think they can get on the mic. And I was watching this Eddie Murphy documentary and he was talking about when he was doing the donkey. And he was like, during him recording, he's like, I'm exhausted. I've been yelling all day, you know what I'm saying? You got you know what I'm saying? Like, when you're an ogre or you're storming the castle and you got to freaking amp it up, you got 6 hours of doing that. You know what I'm saying? That is stamina. So it's on camera. It's physical. Doing voiceovers is physical. It's draining, and you're engaged, and you're mentally you're engaged here. You tense up when you do certain things. You are active. So.
I've always thought about that. I'm off script for just a second. I think about the video games I play and all the anime I watch, and the voicing. Of course, people are going to speak with emotion and everything, but then like the fight scenes or like a moment of tense, and somebody has to voice, and it always cracks me up.
Those are fun.
I wanted to lean towards Oppai Princess because you said you did a lot of horror, and I'm wondering, like, what are some of the more fun things that you've done around doing voicing for horror genre institutions, screaming and etc.
I mean, like screaming in general, you have to be careful not to hurt yourself when you're doing it. But I think the more fun ones I'll do are impact, where it's like you're taking a hit or a punch or you're falling Or I had one where I was dangling with my legs in a vat of acid and I had to slowly have my body raised from it. And it's just like a really
That's so rad.
excruciating,
Oh my
slow.
God. I want to hear what you did for that, dude. I want to hear what you did. Oh, I want to hear it, dude. Yes.
Well, it was in one of the puppet combo games. I don't remember which one off the top of my head, but it was very hard to do just because I'm trying to get a genuine, how do you say it, like elongated sound out of it, because I didn't get to see how long it was taking this person to get raised out of the pool or of acid or whatever. So I had to give like multiple takes for it with a bunch of different seconds. But those are a little bit more fun for me. Other than that, I think the ones that are a lot harder to do would actually be anything where you have to you go from like a scream into an agonizing cry, because there's a lot of different, I don't know if it's like waves or something, like waves of audio that you're doing. You don't want to get too close to the mic, but you also want to make sure that you're like projecting enough and it doesn't sound like boohoo fake or whatever, because I'm still kind of iffy on that sometimes, but that's my take on it.
Okay. Anybody else want to weigh in?
What was the original question? Because I'm a little ADD, so I get like a hop.
Look, we all are. I don't know what I was talking about 5 minutes ago, but I think when it comes to like making some of those like impact voices or something like that,
Okay,
like
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those are traditional. Their impacts are also called, if you ever hear it around, people throw it out, it's called efforts.
Efforts. Okay.
And efforts aren't only like and impact as well. Oppai is it's impact or efforts. If you hear both terms, whatever, that they're the same. I also do dubbing. I also do what they call dubbing or dubbing. I do dubbing for movies. So I've done the vocal match for The Rock. I've done 7 movies for The Rock. And for Red Notice, I did all his efforts. They didn't have a chance to go back and get it because they didn't have millions of dollars to record his efforts. So they had me come because I can kind of do I do a good Rock. I've been doing it for a while, and I started off with Baywatch, and then they have me do other movies after that. So I go in there and I freaking like I do all the efforts. And the efforts are like punches, like what Oppai was talking about. Oppai Queen was talking about. It's punches. It's getting socked. It's like like the exhales, like you were talking about. Those little creaks that you think people don't pick up, but you still have to do it anyway. I think did I answer the question?
You did. If
I can add one more thing, actually, please. I have a reel on my Instagram, which is literally an entire session, and I whittled down to the best highlights of quite literally a 2-hour effort session where all they wanted me to do, they're like no words, but they said, you are going to be basically the female NPC that people fight. And so, but like, but you think of punching and this, but sometimes some of the efforts are so wildly insane because it's a fantasy game that you're like, okay, so a witch has cast a spell that she's choking you across the battlefield. Can you give us one? Okay, maybe a little wetter, and that kind of stuff. You're like, I have to come up with this like on the fly.
True.
And what does it sound like when your arm gets chopped off versus what does it sound like when you get stabbed in the thigh? And you have to be able to show a clear, distinct difference. So that way players and people enjoying the medium, whatever it is, can hear and feel the difference. And it feels much more lived in rather than just, as Oppai Princess said, boohoo, or just, it doesn't sound real, right? But when you do have those moments,
stabbed in the thigh.
Right. I don't believe you were. But, and it is a testament to vocal stamina and knowing how to do this without hurting yourself because, they're taxing for a reason. They're extremely taxing.
And that's something else y'all have discussed around like singing. Like, how many of you have had, like, I think you mentioned you had a singing background before, and that helps with breath control, with being able to protect your vocal cords, et cetera, right? Okay.
I want to add one quick thing. I did this session for Planet of the Apes. I did the efforts for this orangutan, and I did the efforts for the orangutan, but it was all these like extra, like, my mom was so mad. She goes, "Don't be sounding like no ape."
I was about to say, not in Black History Month. You're not going to do that.
We're only 4 days in. 3 days in.
better not be sound like no ape. And my mama, listen, it ain't just.
They paying.
But so I'm like, like doing all that shit, right? And then not only that, you're like trying to communicate like that. So it was a 6-hour session, and it was at the Fox Studio lot. And towards the end, I have to die. The orangutan dies, and it's death by water.
Spoilers! Oh my gosh!
Well, I know. Well, it's been out for like 2 years now. The movie's been out for 2 years. Sorry, guys. Spoilers. Sorry. Anyway, my boy dies, dude. Sorry. Now I'm all I know. But I wanted to make people cry. I wanted to make it really, really effective. So I really was trying to get really in it, and I went on for broke, gargled water, and like as I'm all that shit, you know what I'm saying, all that stuff. And it was really taxing. And after 4 hours, I was like about to tap out. And this is the thing that all of y'all who want to get into voiceover, you have to know your limit. You got to know like when to call in the towel, because let's say if you're working and you have something the next day and you're just going for broke, well, you're ruining everything, because the next day I couldn't talk for half the day. It was done. And I had promo that day, and thank God it was a lower range, because I had a chance to lower it down. My vocals, the swelling went down. I took some ibuprofen, you know what I'm saying? I rested it, but I was scared because I was like, I got in the car and I instantly knew that I did myself a disservice. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing. Like if you're doing VO, know your limits. Don't be, get your ego out of the equation. And you have to be rational with what you do, and honest with yourself.
We've had a few questions from the audience, and a couple that I wanted to go back. If I can scroll back up here. What's your favorite part about being a voice actor? Wasn't the one I was looking for, but that's a good question.
I've been talking my butt off. I'll let these two queens started off. Nadia.
Oppai Princess, if you.
I was going to say, Nadia, you can go first. Actually, I think about that.
Okay. Well, favorite part, just the fact that you learn something new every day. You learn something. It was on the non-broadcast side. Let's say, for example, I have figured out so many anemone facts that I didn't know because I voiced an e-learning script, electronic learning, for a client, and I learned some facts about anemones that I had no idea about. And then the next day I learn about, the water sewage system for a particular plant, and I didn't know what that was about. So it's very much keeps you as a student. But my ultimately favorite part is probably how much this industry surprises you of what you can do. Because sometimes I will submit for an audition thinking, I don't know, I'll just try it. And then something just comes out. You're like, wait, I can do that? Like, I had that in me this whole time? I didn't know that. And so you get a chance to heal your inner child, play, and just surprise yourself with what you can do. That's easily the best part.
Definitely. Madam Oppai?
I would say that like my favorite thing has to be, again, on the inner child. I didn't think I would be able to do something like this. And the fact that I get to work with video games and I get to work with animations, because I just love cartoons as a whole. If I ever get to do anything in anime, that would be amazing. But even with indie animations and indie gaming, I get to do a lot of the stuff that my favorite creators play or they review. Like, I love Corey Kenshin. I love Jay from the Cub Scouts. And they've looked at my work and they've played the games that I've been in. And that's an honor.
Kenshin's
like,
the bomb, dude. My son loves Corey Kenshin.
I love
dude.
Corey. I love Corey so much.
Cool.
And Dashi. So being able to just work in a place where I get to see behind the scenes stuff for games being made is also a really big honor that I think makes it worthwhile too.
Definitely.
Okay. I'm seeing. Okay, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say for me, it's that above most and foremost, I get to be my own boss. That is, I worked in corporate. I did all kinds of customer service. I did all kinds of the 9 to 5, and I did not like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like being told what to do. I didn't like being told when to go to the bathroom, when to eat. I didn't like. I did manual labor. I've done all the stuff to let me know that what a blessing it is to be creative on the microphone, to be hired to do that. to have the ability and the opportunity to have the kind of income to support a family, to support yourself, you know what I'm saying, off of being creative vocally. It's just the biggest blessing. I never really won that much stuff in life. And I say the biggest things that I've been blessed with is healthy children, a great support system, and a fantastic opportunity at being a voiceover artist. That's the biggest thing. Second, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, Nadia. Yeah, I mean, and I think we all feel like that too. I don't think there's not a day where you like you go to work, you're like, damn, I'm in my pajamas. I'm doing a narration for the show on A&E, and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna have me a little lunchy after. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that I dreamed about, and and then also bringing lines to life and convincing someone that this is the real. But when I do something for Burger King, for instance, like when I can describe that hamburger and let it drip with the juices and the cheese off the side, the special sauce, the pickles, the lettuce, the tomato, you know what I'm saying? Like that.
Now I'm hungry. Thanks.
You know what I'm saying? Like that is what I want. I want people to be like, damn, I want that freaking burger because that will keep people coming back to you. So it's the challenge of making something that's supposed to be marketing, something that's semi-corny, maybe it's like overtly and making it seem natural in a way that people can receive it, right? Or being a character on the script of life and stuff.
We did talk about that already, but I'm noticing that what do you do when you lose your voice?
What I did, I'll be real fast. You drink tea. Well, warm tea, nothing scorching, right? You want to drink something that's going to lubricate yourself first. Because a lot of it comes from unlubrication of your voice, which is why you'll see every VO person have their own special little, we all have that. Vocal rest. You do not talk. You take some ibuprofen. Ibuprofen is good for swelling. And you be quiet. And you let it chill for a good, I remember my voice cracked at a session for World of Warcraft. I had Fred Tatasciore in the back of my ear, and I had a bunch of deep-throated men who were just and I was and I wanted to show off because Fred is the voice of Hulk. So I was like, oh, I got Fred there. He's a friend of mine. I want to show him what I can do. I went hard. I instantly cracked my voice, and we had a 10-minute break, and I went into the back and I drank some green tea. I freaking I took some ibuprofen, and by the time it was time, I was able to get back on the mic. But that
was scary though.
That was scary as hell. It's always scary.
And I'm seeing different setups in everybody's house. Do you have any gear requirements or a special setup, or did you just kind of go for it and get the mic? A lot of us podcasters got the Yeti Jam, going on.
Everyone has a Yeti. You ain't the only one. Now, do you want you ladies?
My blue one.
Yeah. Before we go on to that, so I actually have a certificate in singing health specialization. So I quite literally observed vocal therapies and vocal surgeries with the surgeons in the room, watching cancer cells being lasered off of, So anyway, I've seen gross stuff, all that to say. But what it comes down to, don't talk. If it hurts, stop. It should not hurt.
Yeah.
And, there are know your limits in terms of your vocal ability, but if you can play with your range, maybe you have done singing, if you can meet with a teacher, get to know what kind of things you can do, work on expanding your range comfortably. Don't try to do the extremes. But ultimately, there are things that can soothe the throat, sure, but the cords, the vocal folds themselves are they're thinner than rice paper. So when you mess them up, they're done. So you have
God, you had to give me that visual. They had a visual of the rice paper, man.
Yeah. But because I've seen the worst of it is why I'm getting to that. So if there are ways, the way you hydrate 24 hours before affects how you are hydrated today. So it's not just about guzzling water, 2 hours before my session. You have to hydrate well 24 hours before. Yep. That is going to affect, if you're not peeing clear, you better pee clear. You better make sure that if you are susceptible to GERD or you have acid reflux, take
Yeah.
note of what you need to change in your diet.
Mm.
Make sure if there is no reason for you to speak, don't. I am sometimes a monk some days when I don't speak at all if I don't have to. And there are portable nebulizers or steamers that you can get if you do vocally taxing work to keep this all set up. Actually, I'm planning to do a talk about this in the future, so we can
Do it. Don't
discuss
give
that
up all your goodies. Don't give all the goodies away.
Exactly.
But
I'm
this is
gonna keep it as
valuable.
a secret. I'm gonna
This is
keep it a secret.
valuable
But
information.
yeah, but just ultimately, don't speak. Be on vocal rest, and I mean not a peep, not a whisper. Whisper is worse for your voice. Not a peep. Shush.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whispering is more
Mhm.
taxing for your voice.
Because you're pushing air through your freaking. That's
Yeah,
like it's like
because the vocal
you're like,
folds, the air is escaping. They're not
Mhm.
closing.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
I got a question. Also, did it seem like I had a delayed reaction when it came to things?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So a little issue with the audio, and so I'm hearing the live in my ear. So when I spoke it, and I actually heard these speakers, it's throwing me off. So
It was like singing the national anthem in a stadium. Just,
yeah,
I'm
right.
caught up.
Mhm.
The question, as far as voice acting, like, have the three of you ever experienced anything where it's just like I would say I'm overly emotional, but having to experience certain emotions that you haven't felt in a while, and maybe have to recall a certain experience to come to really hit the mark on a certain scene. Like, have you felt let's see, the feeling of, I won't say euphoria, but like a cleansing, really feeling
catharsis.
thank you.
Catharsis, yeah.
Catharsis, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You ladies,
My
want to go?
mom
You
is
want
an
to go,
English
Oppai?
teacher.
Oppai Princess, please.
Oh, okay. Yes, I have. There was an animation that was on Horror Shorts Party. And by the way, they take, just for context, they take actual crimes that have happened and they animate them into cartoons.
Oh God,
So
dude, that's crazy.
I'll get to see some of the stuff, like the story that's happened, and I'll read the whole thing and I'm like, oh my God, this is dark. This is very dark. And there was an instance of someone who had been attacked getting their revenge. And I was just like, oh, this feels good. I am happy for this person. I am happy with everything and it did have a happy ending, but yeah, I've had instances like that. And then there are those where I've gotten scripts that don't give me a warning or a trigger warning or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had to talk with the people that I've worked with before, like, hey, it's not like I can't do it, but I just want notice. Like, can you just let me know what's happening beforehand? Because I have a turnaround time of by the end of the day for most of the stuff that I do. So if I am reading something and then I'm triggered, I'm just like, this is going to take a little bit longer than I intended. And I don't know, if I'm going to give my best performance for whatever is needed. So.
Right.
And so is that the norm where you get an assignment and you do it on your own home rig and email it back to them?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure we get to a couple of questions because there's a lot of people trying to get into commercials, but they don't have a demo yet. So do you think that's necessary? Like, how do you get started?
Do not do a demo yet. Don't do it. Don't do a demo. Don't do it. Which is what you want to do first. All right. Anyone who wants to get into commercials, you're going to start from the bottom. All right. You're just, unless you're so incredibly lucky, you have yourself tapped into some place, you're going to start from the bottom. You're going to start with non-union, right? And you're going to accumulate your non-union credits, and you might be given an opportunity that's union, right? And if they like it, they'll Taft-Hartley you, and then that will be your thing for the. But here's the thing: take your classes, all right? Figure out what you want to do. Figure out what commercial even means, right? There's so many commercials. There's infomercials. There's
promo.
There's medical commercials. There's promo, which is a whole, but it's but you want to figure out what does commercials mean to you, right? That's the number one. Number two, you want to, when you do a demo when you know exactly who you are. And I'm not talking about what you want out of life, but you're confident in what you can deliver to a client, right? A lot of people might show off on a demo, but they won't know how to replicate it. So you want to make sure you know who you are as a voiceover actor, and you want to solidify what you want to do. And there's different genres, right? You want to do maybe like when you do your demo, you want to do you want to do your beverage, you want to do your airline, you want to do your cleaning supplies, you want to do your dental, you want to do, you know what I'm saying? Like you want to do a variety of things that can showcase what you can do in those spots, right? Can you go quiet? Can you be like this? Can you get loud? It's all varies. And you'll know this from all the training you do, right? Number 2, do not spend thousands of dollars on a demo. Don't do it. You don't have to do that. All right. Like if someone's charging you thousands of dollars for a demo,
Scam.
It's a scammy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's $1,000. I can see depending on what work they put in, but do not spend any thousands of dollars. If you're in a vocal class as well, if you do a commercial class and someone says, and you're beholden to your instructor that as the measure of when you should do what you want to do, get out of that class. When you do a vocal class, it's meant to teach you something and you're meant to move on. You're not meant to stay there as a security blanket, right? You learn what you learn, you move on to the next, right? Until you need training again. So you want to make sure that number 1, you know who you are, what you want to do, you know what categories you want to do it in, right? Number 2, you do not want to spend thousands of dollars on a demo. Oh, the most important thing, and I learned this the hard way because my first demo was about 3 minutes long. Don't make anything over a minute to a minute and 11 seconds. And you want to make sure you have maybe like 5 good spots within that stuff. So you want to, anyone who hears your demo has heard hundreds of demos. They don't want sound effects. They don't want you being cute. I had this whole thing where I walked up to the microphone and I sounded like I was sitting in the couch and turning on a TV. You hear the TV turn on, and then I go, ooh, commercials. And then it starts my reel, right? And I thought it was like the most cleverest thing I ever put together. And then I had this agent was like, oh, that's cute, Imari, but we don't want you to waste our time like that. It has to be fast, flashy, and out.
Mm-hmm. I've seen some people or some advertisements across like TikTok or IG, whatever it'll say, we're looking for this, and respond, like record your voice demo, whatever, and post it and tag us and stuff like that. And I've wondered, because that feels very Nigerian Prince to me.
It is. It is, because it is. You. That's not how. I mean, that's great for extra something. But like in the real world, the people who are going to give you the money, that's going to make a difference. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to. The casting directors are going to know you, right? I would also say, go to a good voiceover conference, because a lot of times you have casting directors there. You'll have agents there and you won't really know, but they'll be there because they want to hear the new talent. They want to hear who they can add. You know what I'm saying? They're looking for somebody. There's voices 1, 2, 3. A lot of people, and people get work like that. I'm not saying don't do that, right? Because my whole path was different. Everyone's path is going to be, everyone's story is so incredibly different. There's no one way to make it, except persistence. Persistence is how you're going to make it in here. So you want to give yourself every opportunity and talent, and of course talent. Persistence, talent, but then also, like, I mean, what is talent, right? I mean, talent would be like, talent is deciphering the script or whatever you have, communicating it in an effective way, acting, right? And I mean, you don't have to be a thespian, but like if you have this and the love for what you're going to do, because you're going to be rejected a lot, and you're going to have to love what you do. You have to love this. If this is a side gig you want to do, if you want to get into make a little extra side money, it's not going to work out for you. It just won't.
I'm going to take a moment for a PSA for a pet peeve of mine. Because again, my mother was an English teacher, and she used to tell me when I was very young, are you reading or are you calling words? And I've heard people call words on air in certain instances. And I was like, how Sway? They didn't hear this, I've also been told, like, I appreciate y'all saying I have a pretty good voice, but I've been told that before, like, you sound like a preacher. Well, it's because I put emotion in my voice. I'm trying to portray or, relay something. And I'm not going to just read the words like this. My enunciation might be great, but I have no real emotion in my voice. It's another thing I notice about people who call words is their pauses are in the weirdest places. But we were talking about social media, and Blurred already had a question. How, even though replying to those kind of scam things is kind of off, but how do y'all use, or do you use social media to help get your name out there? Yeah.
I do.
Okay. Talk to me. Mm-hmm.
So with Horror Shorts Party, I had already built up a following beforehand, and I had reached out to a mutual and was like, hey, I'm a really big fan, but also I do have, experience in voice acting, and I wanted to know if I can just audition.
Nice.
Obviously, like, that's it. And they saw my social media and they're like, oh yeah, let's give her a try. Like, I like her voice, and it went really well. But I feel like one of the upsides is having built a following meant that I could share my followers with them to help kind of make the channel grow. So that was another good thing about having a background in that already.
Definitely. What about you, Nadia?
I would also say social media is interesting because it gives people a glimpse as to all that you are and all that you do, if that is how you use social media. So for example, I was cast in an animation movie because people saw my feed and they were like, "Oh, you're half Indian. Our character in this show needs to be Indian. Let's have a conversation with her." They found out I'm also an opera singer. They found I used to do all of this kind of stuff, that they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is like a perfect fit for this character." That because you're showing all of the facets of who you are as a human being, you never know who's going to connect with that, even potential clients. I speak a lot about lead generation when I go to conferences, voiceover conferences. And social media is a giant search engine. People are searching for you. You are also searching for clients. It goes both ways. So when you are able to, as you're comfortable and whatever you feel comfortable sharing, be the buzzword of the last 5 years has been authentic. Be authentic, conversational, right? That's what they want. But when you are authentically yourself and you present that, people are drawn to it. You're a magnet for that kind of work, right? Manifestation, it can be like that too. So, be smart. Don't be bothering the CEO of a major corporation. Don't be trying to hit up HBO Max. Don't, be strategic and be smart. But when you're authentically yourself, people will see it and will be drawn to it and want to interact with you.
I also want to say that, like, it is becoming a little bit more, like, I am actively right now, I'm actively looking at how I can authentically build my base up with my Instagram. I'm not on X anymore. I refuse. But barely on TikTok right now. But like, I need to put more things in LinkedIn. Nothing like about what I've who's helped me attain what I want to attain in LinkedIn, because I guess people have seen who gives the jobs and they call those people. I think Ryder, our friend, our mutual colleague Ryder, has something where he's like, don't tell people who gave you the job in your LinkedIn, because they will call those people and they'll ask them for a job. Like, so what I want to do is I want to beef up my followers, but I want to beef it up in an organic way. I don't want bots. I want someone who's there to learn from me, and I want to learn from them as well. So that's where I'm going to be coming from. Like, content on what you do, on how you get there, is extremely interesting for people who are trying to get there themselves. So I'm actively right now, because I want to get back I'm getting back in front of the camera. So I'm trying to blend all two aspects, on camera and voiceovers, right? And I'm also trying to be like, okay, what do I want to talk about? Because that's such a big, how am I going to grab something? How am I going to make it interesting? And what Nadia said is, you make it interesting by believing what you're talking about. So like, if I'm just going to post something, just to post something, it's going to have no filler. It's going to have no filler, no nutrition. If I'm like, you know what, I just got rejected from this. For instance, I auditioned for Jujutsu Kaisen, for a character that's coming out, and I had my agency pitch me for it, and I was just like, I'm going to go for it. I really made an effort to go for it. I gave like 3 different takes for the character. I thought I was really good, and I didn't get it. I did not get it. So it's like you just have to know, like, when that happens, right? Like, it doesn't matter. It's the journey of and getting to that one place where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's really good for sorry, I lost my train of thought, for Instagram, for those other things. It's like, it's just cool for people to see the process. So yeah, I definitely having an online presence is good, but also don't rush it and do fake stuff, because people do that stuff. You'll shoot yourself in the foot.
Right. And also, if you find yourself trying to mimic other people and do things that other people are doing, you will attract folks that are not looking for you. They're looking for those other people. And it's going to not go well for you.
Now, what I will look at is how people are like, I have a friend named Hunter, and he's brilliant. He's so good at like YouTube, and like he's so good at like posting his stuff. He has a philosophy. So I'll look at people's formula on what they do, but then have my own stuff, right? So I have my own idea of what I want to show people. You know what I'm saying? Like what I think will be what I find useful for myself, because I can't read someone's mind and be like, okay, well, I think this is gonna be useful for you. Hopefully what I give you, these are things that I worry about, that I'm sure other people worry about, and we can connect on that basis of trying to figure things out together, for those who want to follow me and all that stuff.
Couple more quick questions. Go ahead.
So get this out of the way. Kind of a two-parter. So I got a question as far as I've asked this before to you, Imari. I believe so, Nadia. As far as representation, like being in Oppai Princess, like being the talent and being able to get in front of the mic and voice these different characters, whether they look like you or not. But for the ones that look like you, have you noticed a change as far as the amount of representation, and from your standpoint, how do you feel how it can grow? Because it's one of those situations where, like, speaking at least on like anime, because it's in animation too as far as the character representation. Like I keep going back to what I'm hearing in conversations is that like for live action, it's like, well, go hit up Tyler Perry, or but he has his audience. There's a reason behind that. And then with Will Packer, his audience, his base audience was the college scene. Now with animation, like, how can we? Because I don't want to be on the soapbox. Like see ourselves and see more of it, and not just like, okay, what we're accustomed to, like the full spectrum.
We must create our own content. Straight up. People need, if you're someone who's Latino, if you're someone who's South Asian, who's someone who's from Latin America, whatever. Like I keep calling this Eddie Murphy thing, because Eddie Murphy was the first to really break grounds for black actors. Before, it was sort of like you had your signature one black actor, and then when Eddie Murphy came around, they were like, oh, we can make money. Like MTV didn't want to show any kind of R&B artists when they first came out. They wouldn't show any black artists because they thought people didn't want to see black artists. And David Bowie was like, yo, why don't you have any black artists? Why don't you have any soul? Why don't you have any what's going on? And they're like, well, we have people who they just don't want to they don't want to see. He goes, how do you know that? Have you even begun? Michael Jackson comes up, Prince comes out. They had to show them. And then that opened the floodgates for other people, and it's still disproportionate, right? And we cannot ask people to represent us. We can't do it. We can't ask anyone else but ourselves. If you make your own animation studio, you make your own you do it, you build it up yourself, and then you go ahead and you go forth and frolic. And I know people like with Tyler Perry and all this stuff, he's like the tantamount of what people can do. But like, honestly, man, this one guy who just did Iron Lung, he's a YouTube creator,
Markiplier.
Well, yeah, multiplayer game. This YouTube guy got it produced as a movie. It was screened in 4,000 screens because he had the fan base, which he got from social media, and they all screened for it. It was able to get distribution across the country. And these are the things that major studios don't want you to say. I'm not an anti-studio person. I am a pro. I'm a pro everyone prosper person. You know what I'm saying? Everyone can have the pie, I
had to look up some dates real quick. I want to make sure I was right. But when you mentioned like Michael Jackson being on MTV, and all of a sudden they had to, because people wanted, BET and Video Soul came out in 1981.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson ended up on MTV in 1983. And to your point about creating your own content, they saw the financial promise of what BET was doing. And it's like, we want a piece of that. You don't get Yo MTV Raps if you don't have BET showing rap music videos. I forget what it was called, something late at night. I was young, y'all weren't born. But you know, that's
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes. Yeah. So we always have been a financial revenue engine. We just haven't been always given the opportunity to profit from our own stuff. You know, so the minute we make something, they want it. Like Sinners recently, they're trying to convince him to make a sequel, to do a prequel. He's like, I said no, which is why he wanted to maintain control.
Ryan Coogler is, God, I love that man. I love that man because it's like it's what you can like achieve for yourself. I don't give a crap if you're black. I don't give if you're a person of color, right? Just put the content out. I'm trying to get on camera, and if someone's not giving you the opportunity, you create the opportunity for yourself. It's scary, man. I'm gonna sit here right here. You're thinking about budgets. You're thinking about where I'm shooting permits and all this stuff. It's scary shit. Like it's not easy, you know. But if you want success is not easy. You know what I'm saying? Like we see all these people on these platforms who are where they are now, but what we don't see is the preparation that went into it. We don't see the amount of time it took to get to where they are now. We don't see the tears they cried. We don't see the worries they felt. We don't see the jobs that they got fired from. You know what I'm saying? Like
success is also cringe.
It's very cringe. Success is can be very cringe.
An overnight success takes years.
Takes years. Who's the woman from Marty Supreme? They're like, oh, she just popped. She goes, no, I've been acting for like, you know, I've been acting for years. I've been in this for years. You just now noticing me now, right?
Right.
And so now we have the tools. All of us can create a production company, produce our stuff, put it on YouTube, and it's our job to draw the crowd to YouTube. We get enough people on YouTube, you're sustaining yourself.
That's right? What Issa Rae did with Awkward Black Girl about 20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, there's billions of people in the world, right? The powers that be want to seem like there's a select group of people that will only look at what and what and what. Right. People don't know what they want. I'm gonna be honest. You ever go somewhere and go, God, you know, I just want to go, I want a shirt. I want a nice shirt. And you go into a place and you're like, oh, fudge, you know, there's thousands of shirts. What shirt do I want? And then you're like, oh, I never thought about that shirt, but there it is right here in my face. I kind of like that. It makes me feel good. It feels nice. The fabric's nice. The button count's nice. Double thread. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna buy that. You know what I'm saying? That's what whatever content you put heart. You don't look it. You know, make it look nice. Put some effort into it. Great story. You know, and you'll get that. I'm trying to follow my advice too, by the way, you guys. I'm trying. I've been thinking about this stuff because I'm like, I am at a point in my career where I feel like I need to evolve. Right. I went to VO Atlanta and I saw all these hungry VO people doing shit that I have not done yet. And I'm like, oh, and then I'm going over all the stuff I did. And I'm like, God, how did I get that without, you know, like how, you know, I kind of had survivor's remorse because I'm like, damn, can I do that again? You know what I'm saying? And then things are changing. How do you control your destiny is by creating opportunities for yourself, even when you're there, right? You know, you don't stop. You don't rest on your laurels. Sorry, I'm on Gabby. I'll be quiet.
A couple of things, couple of really quick questions that were asked, like, do you need an agent? Do you need to join a union? What is y'all's take on that?
Well, I have neither of those things.
Okay.
What?
But I'm still,
sorry.
I don't have either of those
what
things.
Are you talking about? You don't have those things. I'm okay. We're gonna talk.
Let her talk.
All right, sorry.
I don't have an agent.
Imari.
I don't have an agent. I'm not in a union or anything. Everything that I've done has literally been from the ground up, and I've been able to acquire roles just because, again, the cold emailing, the networking. I'm not saying I'm harassing people or anything. I'm not harassing CEOs, but I'm definitely in their DMs and I make myself known and I try to just showcase the things that I do have. Like I made content just to showcase that I do guest appearances at conventions and it got me a guest appearance. Like awesome. I go out of my way to try to just showcase what I have and locate the people with, you know, within the zeitgeist of the internet just to try to get what I can get.
Girl, you are a hustler, and that is the best kind of hustle, man. That is so freaking fantastic. I thought you had representation. I thought you had all that stuff, man. Well, I mean, I'm not saying, and I'm letting Nadia talk, but when I had that explanation right there with you, wasn't because I was like, oh, you need that. I'm saying that is such a good thing you're doing right now to be where you're at right now without being in the union and without having represent. That is a great model, and that is something that everyone can learn from. That is such good work that you're doing. So I want my hats off to you, because that's like, honestly, like a lot of people let that hinder them, and that's a tantamount to your hustle. Sorry, Nadia. Go. Sorry.
Oh, all good. I mean, everyone's path is different. Not everyone walks the same path, but I did not get my first agent. I started in October of 2016, and I didn't get my first agent until about maybe July of 2020. And so I had about 3 years to get my client base, sort of go through the ringer of like, okay, what's working, what's not working, what reads am I doing well on, and sort of look at the data, because the data doesn't lie, and see what is working, what is not. And then when I did approach agents, that's the thing, is that representation, you work for each other. Representation works for you, and you make them look good. So the only reason that you should approach an agent or get representation is when I can make you money. Let's have a conversation, right? Yeah. Because you're pitching, they're going to be a part of your team. You're pitching yourself as a business to another business saying, let's make some money together. So there's nothing wrong. If you want to keep the money to yourself, go right ahead. Be your bad self. If you want to be able to get somebody else that can get you opportunities you can't get, great. But the fact of the matter is that you have to look through their roster. Hopefully they show it online, or you can talk to people who are a part of their roster and see if they already have someone that sounds like you. Because if they do, they may not have room for you right now. Doesn't mean won't happen in the future.
Yeah.
But there's nothing against just being non-union. A majority of the voiceover work is non-union. Sorry to say it. Most of it is non-union. Yeah.
It is. And it's like, and also like I got my start because I was in a place that it fed to me, right? I had all these opportunities that were just there. I didn't realize it. I was like, oh my God. I'm meeting heads of Ogilvy, Crispin Porter Bogusky, Martin Agency. And I'm not really realizing the significance of that until it actually hit me. I'm extreme. I can be very dense sometimes where I'm like, I guess I've been working on it all along. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I guess I've been, but like I said, everyone's journey is so different. Right. And before I got on into SAG, because the SAG is such a mystical creature for people. All right. It's almost like losing your virginity for some people who are actors. I'm not trying to be crass, but it's like, people are wondering, when's it going to happen? Will it happen to you?
Card? When are you going to get your SAG card?
When you get that SAG card? And I'm like, and I'm telling you right now, I'm sorry. I'm telling you right now, like when it happens, you're like, oh, that's it. That's what it took. Because honestly, like I got my SAG card because I was Taft-Hartley 3 times because I was giving the opportunities for these things. So I would book these SAG jobs. I was not in the union. They would Taft-Hartley me, and I rode that because once you could become a member of SAG, you're paying quarterly dues. Yeah. People don't understand this. You are paying SAG dues. You understand what I'm saying? If you are not making money to assist, like to
cover them dues,
yeah,
and that is a challenge for you. You may not want to join SAG yet. You might want to stay non-union for a little bit until you have the agency that can give you, or you have the means of getting the volume of auditions that can keep you sustained in SAG, because SAG does not find you jobs, right? They don't. They don't find you jobs. Yeah. You were going to say something? Let me cut you off.
I got to cut you off because actually we're coming up on time. We're getting pretty close. And there's one question that was asked like 30 minutes ago that I wanted to ask you all because I thought it was a good around the horn question. What is your dream job or role or something that you would like to get?
God, yes. Go. You. I'll go last.
Okay. I'll go second. I'm not gonna go first.
Someone actually asked me this question not too long ago. In terms of character work, I already know there's a new game that's on its way, but I'll probably say the role or like the franchises maybe that might be better, or like a brand as well. Lara Croft would be a dream for me.
Oh God, you kill it, baby.
As a British citizen too, like she has a special place in my heart.
Mm.
And I'm half British, so I actually have auditioned for her role before, and it was like a big like, oh my God, like I was freaking out. But I would probably say the Assassin's Creed universe. Like I would love to be involved in that, like mocap, everything, like sign me up. But for brands, like there may be a brand or there may be a game that hasn't come out yet that might be perfect for me. So I sometimes I don't really know what to say because I didn't even know that Code Vein 2 was going to have a fantastic sequel. And like, I'm so blessed to be Holly, and she's such a wonderful, goofy, beautiful character. But in terms of brands, like a chocolate brand, I call myself a chocolate snob. So I would love to be a chocolate voice.
You can do Ghirardelli. I can hear on Ghirardelli. So I can hear you.
Yeah, I try and I keep auditioning, and I'm just like, when am I going to get it? But it's probably on its way. It's on its way. Or probably, this is kind of very niche, but Burberry, I would love to be a voice for Burberry because I loved they once had this perfume and it's now discontinued. If they ever bring it back, I'm like, that's it. It's mine. Or something like luxury to that extent would be really, really amazing. But honestly, whatever comes to my inbox, I'm always like, this is just a gift anyway. So yeah, you never know what could be around the corner. But Tomb Raider for sure.
He's like, Tomb Raider for sure. I feel you on that. Oppai, what about you? You said you go second.
Oh yeah. I would more than be willing to do mocap as well. Like I do want to be in a AAA game. I've done only indie games. AAA is what I want. A pilot, a well done pilot cartoon is another thing that I would want to do. That's a dream role. Or just a reoccurring role in an anime. That's top 3.
Heck yeah.
I'm gonna say this right now, Oppai. When you you can have all that and you'll get all that. You know what I'm saying? Like your hustle's strong. And so like you've been in this thing. Like I'm telling you, representation is not solidify you as a good voiceover actor. It just helps you accentuate your reach, right? It just gives you more volume, man. Honestly, like it gives you more opportunity.
Lead generator, basically.
The lead generator. Like so it speaks nothing about what you can attain, you know what I'm saying? Like you've attained so much with what you've hustled with so far. So I mean it's just like I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great example of what you can do when you put boots to the ground, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like really sorry. I keep on gushing over it, but I think it's really cool. I think you should really be proud of yourself.
What is your view?
And my dream role, I want to be the lead in an anime. You know what I'm saying? Like all my animes are side characters. I had one really good, cool character from Sword Art Online, Broccoli, who I had this righteous death scene with this. I had a righteous fight scene, and it was through multiple episodes, and that was the closest I got to like a really like high status character. But I want a high status anime character. I really do. I want there's that. Video games, I have something coming out that kind of touched a little bit of what a dream role would be. So I can't no digo nada, you know what I'm saying? I'm freaking, no digo nada. And then for on camera, I want to be cast in an action role. I want to be in a detective role, or I want to be like, or I want to be like some sort of gritty noir for on camera.
Okay. That works. So as we wrap up here, I want to just want to make sure I've touched on everything. One of the things I don't think we've covered enough is the transition from wow, I would like to be a voice actor to wow, I got an audition. Right? How did you start? Where do you go? Should you start with going to a conference? Should you just, sit outside in front of like, a game studio or just wait for them to come out? Like, how do you get started?
Don't do that. Don't be waiting in front of the game. Don't do that. You don't
only
do
works
that.
in movies. Yeah.
Yeah. No. You want to answer, Nadia?
I would probably there's different avenues. There are different avenues. I think social media can work. There are some ways, if you've never done any voice acting before, there are some casting calls that might be unpaid work or kind of a lower budget range that you can sort of get your reps in, get used to doing that. If you have not, or if you're not necessarily someone who spends a lot of time on the theater, please, 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 I urge everyone, take an improv class, because that will teach you so much about what you can do on the fly within seconds. Because when we do character work, especially video game work, we don't get the script ahead of time. It is literally shown to us right then and there. And they're like, so guess what? Your mother just died and you're bleeding from the inside out. Okay, great, go. And you have to kind of be like, all right, I have to be in this mode. So if you can't do that in the span of a few seconds, you're not ready. And that's okay. Get the reps, get used to that. Social media, there are pay-to-play sites. Be careful. Because some can lowball you. So just know what you're worth. Make sure you don't get undercut. There are free resources that are out there, different podcasts and things like that. I want to be a voiceactor.com. Fantastic.
Yes.
Website.
I was about to say that, Bradley D. Yeah.
But there's some great online resources. I'll just cap it at that because that could be a whole other episode. But
wait, voiceactor.com was yes or no?
I want to be a voiceactor.com is a big yes.
It's a big yes. Okay. So I want to be a voiceactor.com is started by D. Bradley Baker, who is one of the most like he's freaking does creature voices. He's on American Dad. He plays Kraus the fish in American Dad. Right. And he was so tired of people asking him how I can get into voiceovers. He started his own online blog called I Want to Be a Voice Actor. And you go on there and it's a step-by-step of what you need to do. Now, you don't have to follow all those steps, right? Everyone's journey is different. It's just a nice, good guide. Everyone has their own journey, their own blueprint, but it's a good structured way for you to say, okay. And he's always updating it. It's a treasure trove. And everyone in the industry knows that website page. It's crazy.
Okay.
Oh, and I also want to add.
Yes, go ahead.
If you look, I know we're, taking a stance against Twitter, but they do have rosters that are available. There's a big voice acting community there. There's also record this for free on Reddit. There's voice work or voiceover work on Reddit as well. Voice acting club, casting call club. There's a few places where you can look for roles and they have free or unpaid and paid, opportunities too.
Yeah.
And Twitter is terrible, but you can hold your breath and dive into the cesspool and get back out.
I might get back in there. Like I kind of was like, I was at a point where I was like, I was just tired of just, but I have everyone's still on there. So I might just reactivate my account, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just like, I'm not going to talk smack. I did. Yeah. I it's like, as long as it's not overtly like, oppressing anybody, I'm like, all right, but I also want to say, like, if you do the paper play, I did a confidence panel, and this woman came up to me in tears, and I was like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" She goes, "I don't know how to get my hearts up," and I'm like, "Your hearts? What are you talking about?" Yeah, my hearts when I record something, I don't know how to get my hearts because then they won't see it, and I won't be chosen, and I'm like, explain to me. So I guess some people go off of the amount of likes you get off of what you put on it. Which is kind of like the kind of a carrot to mouth that Instagram does. It kind of keeps you locked in when you make a post. That serotonin boost when they get a click, a like. We all get like, oh, someone liked me. Someone liked what I did, right? Subconsciously, right? But with this one, with voices, I guess it's like hindered on that. And I'm letting you know that is not the end all be all. Okay, do not let that disenfranchise you. Don't let it disgruntle you. That is just a way to keep people locked in and engaged. Just try different avenues. Let that be one avenue, and try various other avenues that you can do. Like what these lovely queens are recommending as well. There's so many different ways for you to get there. The voices is just not the only way for you to do it. So,
good stuff. I think one other question. I'm hearing your voices. I'm hearing you, Imani, do voices. Did you have that in your improv repertoire before you started pursuing this directly? Because there's some people that we know in our community here that have like very distinctive voices, and they wonder, I wonder, is that a benefit or not? Having a voice that is naturally distinctive. Like Cree Summer has played it very well to her benefit. You can almost tell when it's her, from back in the day. But
I'm gonna answer this real fast real fast. Your voice is an instrument, and your instrument has a limit, and it has things that it can only do yourself. It's yours. It's unique. No one has a voice like yours. They have something that sounds like you, maybe, but it's yours unto itself. So your job is to learn how to play your instrument to the best of your ability. I try myself to do as many different things as possible because it opens up the net. I try to sound older. I try to sound younger. I try to sound, leveled. I try to raise my voice up. You know what I'm saying? Like I do whatever I need to do within the realm of reason. And if I can't do it, then I can't do it. But like when you're a voiceover actor, the best thing you can do is add variety to your repertoire, and that comes with challenging yourself. And if you have a deep voice like me, if you want to go higher, you can go higher if you want to do it. Will it sound? You know what I'm saying? Like you can go to your range,
right?
But you don't
have to sustain that over the life of the project. Yeah.
Or you can write it out. It's whatever works for you, whatever you feel comfortable doing.
I'm going to stop with that one because that was one other thing that Bloodography asked around reading, because I was talking about like calling words and reading comprehension. And Nadia, you mentioned that sometimes they give you the script right then, so there is no chance to memorize it or anything like that. But how much chance do they give you to like do additional takes or sit with it for a few minutes? Or is it like you said, here it is, and your mom just died and go,
Yeah. It depends on the kind of genre, because you were asking Oppai Princess before if a lot of your work you kind of they send you the script and then you record it on your own, you send it back. I'd say half and half. Half of my things can be record on your own time and half can be directed sessions. So with directed sessions, it can be different depending on the genre. Some of them may send you the script ahead of time, say if it's a commercial or some sort of like sizzle reel for a company. You do study your script ahead of time. And when I say study, read it silently to yourself, I hate this term, get the mouth feel, get it inside internally, live with it, but don't have such a strong stance that it has to be like this, that you can't take direction either. That's also why I say improv, because you can take direction. But I would also say with reading, read out loud to people you care about, read out loud to younger people, to kids, to older people.
Do story time at the library.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get in with Reading Rainbow and be your LeVar Burton, because you need to get used to just reading and getting comfortable with that. And if you want to try different voices, that's when you can play. That's when you can figure that out. But I would also add to what you were asking earlier. I'm from a multicultural background. So for me, yes, I can rely on character voices and I can surprise myself, but I also do accents for a majority of my work. It's spread between my three. So it changes depending on what people want. But I would say you have to be careful with accent work because, one, it should be true to who you are. And two, if you can't do it to 2 to 4 hours believably and not mess up, you should not be putting it on your CV, period.
Absolutely not.
I would not put Jamaican accent on my CV because once I say Wagwan, that's it. I'm done.
I can do an English accent for about 3 sentences, and it transfers to an Aussie accent to mid-Atlantic accent.
We can hear it.
And all my this is all bad, dude. Like, yeah. So I don't even put that on my stuff. I can do a transatlantic African, like I can do an African accent.
Accent.
I can do that. I can do, this is why I can do from East LA. So, if I want to get down, when you get down like one of the homies and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like I know exactly how the vernacular is for that age. I can do that. Huh?
What about languages? That was another question. Like, are any of you multilingual, bilingual?
Yes. But I would also be careful if you cannot do extreme level. So I don't say that I'm fluent in Italian and French, but if it's a short commercial, I can do Italian and French. But if they say to me, the script is, 4 pages long, I'm like, let me send you to these people, because you need to sound like a native. You need people who are from those countries and who speak those languages to be able to be like, oh, I completely understand them. Then like.
Exactly.
I think that's another point too.
So you don't want to get replaced from a job.
Sorry, go ahead, Joy.
I was going to say that's another point to authenticity and credibility, because if you say, yeah, I can speak French, and then you go, voulez-vous coucher avec and sound crazy, look at your face. My French is better than that. But, if you do that, then instead of just saying, let me send you to someone else, when you give them the referral or send them to someone else, that's credibility for you, and you're helping them. They'll still remember you later. But if you go in and say, yeah, I can do it, and you botch it, you're done. Yeah.
Like you have to check your ego out, man. Like in our industry, like you can't be selfish in our industry.
Right.
I will tell you this because it will bite you in the ass. And number one, we're a giving industry. We help each other out if you need it. I've cultivated so many friends, those who are just starting out, those who are veterans. I've learned from those who were there before me. And I therefore teach those who are trying to get to where I am now, who have, you know what I'm saying? Like, but if you're going to do something, man, let it be real, because you will always know the fake. And it's like handing in a bad credit card application. You know what I'm saying? Like once you go to a job and you're like, it's like doing sign language, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you don't know what the hell you're signing. It's just like that. And all that stuff. You could try to fake it till you make it, but it will bite you in the ass. So you better be secure with what you can do and be for sure with what you can do. Oh, by the way, someone mentioned they had a question about if you can memorize a script, or if there's services for those who are bad with reading or who may have dyslexia or a learning disability with it. There are services that can transcribe text for you. And yes, you can most definitely learn the script that way. I have several dyslexic friends who have different ways, different operandi of memorizing scripts on camera and off and for voiceover acting. So if you're someone who is dyslexic, has learned, do not let that hinder you. There are services that can help you transcribe a script. You can, there's different ways that you can kind of tackle that. So I just saw that pop up side.
Oppai Princess, anything you wanted to add to?
I feel like they pretty much covered it. Sorry.
Well, no worries. In that case, I'm going to filibuster for a second, and I'm going to give y'all a moment to think about this. I'm about to ask you, what is your favorite line that you've ever performed? Now, some of that may be behind an NDA, or maybe hasn't come out yet, or et cetera. So be thinking about that as I continue to filibuster just a little bit, because I do public speaking for a living. So I do workshops and whatnot. And my favorite line that I've delivered is one I wrote because I was talking to people in corporate about not being jerks to their employees. And I hear this phrase all the time, well, they just need to have thicker skin. And I told them, I said, you know what? Do they need to have thicker skin, or do you need to stop cutting them?
Ooh.
Favorite line.
Put that down.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah. And now we'll go around the board, give y'all time to think about it. What is your favorite line that you can say that you have done?
Oppai Princess.
Oh, okay. I feel like my favorite line has to be from the game Ding Dong Dead, where I play this love interest, this blonde bombshell, and the guy's trying to hit on her, and he's getting a little too vulgar, and she's just like, "You're too ugly to talk like that." What a turnoff.
I love it.
That voice, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Turn that on.
I have two.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to give some context to one of them. Okay, so long story short, I am the voice of a sandwich. And,
Nice.
I'm a vegetarian, but I'm the voice of a hot buttered cheesesteak sandwich. And you can actually watch the commercial. But the initial commercial that we recorded, they sent it to a focus group and in the Midwest, and the focus group came back and said that the commercial was a little too suggestive, so we had to change the line, which made me really sad because it was so funny. It was a fireside chat between two sandwiches, right? And kind of like the scenario you were bringing up, Oppai Princess, of like, the guy's really interested in the girl, and they have like, oh yeah, like in the background, like it's like really intense, okay? And so I have to, because my sandwich is called hot buttered cheesesteak. My line was, as you know, my buns are hot and buttered. And that's why we had to change the line. My second one would have to be from the game Zenless Zone Zero. And we were in studio, or in a session. We were trying to come up with, this line or whatever. And when you really know a character, you really know your character, right? And I said, they were like, well, we should probably change this. And I said, you know what Nicole would say? she would say the word yeet. Let's put yeet in there. And so one of my favorite lines was, and one of your siblings would have yeeted my butt into the hollow. And it is now in the game and people love it. And I'm like, because you know your character. You don't do that often because people write for a living and they know their stuff. But when you know your character, they're like, yeah, actually, I believe that. That sounds like Nicole. And so there. Yeah. Okay, I'm done.
I don't have a famous. I don't know. I can't think. I can't grab one out. I don't know. I mean, maybe the first one would be. I guess my favorite line would be the first line that actually booked. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's like the the Sony Cybershot line is my favorite line. Is the first line I ever did for a commercial. So maybe that's my favorite line. Because there's always like you see how I am on here. When we're recording and they have different things that you could record a commercial and they'll shoot out, they'll rewrite the commercial there if it's not fitting the time. And then, or maybe they'll be like, what else can you do, Imari? I guess like, you know what? I did this thing for Reese's Oreo cookie, right? And the voice was like, hey man, it's just like regular voice. I don't give a crap. You can eat the cookie or not. You guys asked for it. It's like, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, he was like, you asked for it. It's like, hey, Oreo and Reese's, you asked for it. And then before we did that, we had to go like, I had to do this thing where, it was for the Grammys, right? They were playing it for the Grammys or for the
AMAs.
Yeah, the AMAs, yeah. And I did this line of like, Reese's Oreo, Reese's and Reese's and peanut butter cup. You asked for it. And like, you wouldn't dare play us off. Like it was like a little like I was able to like, because it was like during the AMAs and our commercial had to be 15 seconds or else, and I'm like, wait, no, they wouldn't dare play us off. And I created that for them and they loved that. And they were like, oh, because I was trying to give attitude. I was like, I was snapping my fingers. I was like, girl, you want to have that Reese's peanut. They were like dying. But then, the client's like, a little bit too like, a little bit too, it's a little bit too hip. You say girl and all this, shaking your head when you say your stuff. So, I think that.
This is almost completely unrelated. But as we're talking about being actors, voice actors, but actors, if you haven't watched it yet, watch Wonder Man on Disney Plus. If you're not,
I'm watching it now. I'm on third episode right now. It's fucking. It's freaking fantastic.
You used to get worse and worse with cuss words.
So sorry. I love it so much, and it's so good, and it's so indicative of what like people do with the culture in LA. It's so good. Like, and I'm in the middle of what he's doing now. Like, there's this one episode, and you're cringing. I won't say what it is because you should watch it. I'm talking about, Joy. Like
the first episode.
Yeah, he shoots himself in the foot. Yes. And it's a very big lesson. What he does is what you never do when you book something, but like it's such a good it's such a good series. Anyone out there, I'm with you, Joy, definitely watch it.
Yeah, definitely watch it. It's really quick. Each episode is like 35 minutes or so you can get through all of it in like a day, a Saturday. But I like the Hollywood behind the scenes aspect that they took with it. But there's also a couple of scenes. I'm a frustrated actress. Y'all are giving me hope. I might really want to get into voice acting at some point. But watching Sir Ben Kingsley and Yahya Abdul-Mateen run scenes together, they just started riffing monologues that they had done before. When I tell you Ben Kingsley still got it, it was great.
He is the GOAT. He is a GOAT. He is a master. He's like Daniel Day-Lewis. It's like any master of their craft. He's like Denzel. He is like, Morgan. They all have done it so long that they just locked in. And Yaya, like what they're doing, because what I'm learning in my class, in my acting class right now, is to really you are the character. And what I used to do is when I used to create voices, I used to be like, oh, I created this voice for this and that voice for that. This character does that. And then the first thing my acting teacher said, I've been with him for a year and a half. He was like, you need to get that VO stuff out of your head. You are the character. And that's that. And he was like, this is you in the moment with the stimuli you're given. You are the character. And the way that Yaya and Sir Ben Kingsley, how they read their lines, they're locked in.
They are locked in. Yeah.
So locked in.
And to watch Ben Kingsley to go from I think he did a monologue from King Lear. And it was gritty and it was beautiful. And he popped right back into goofy drug addict Trevor Slattery. Like a moment later. It was so it was so good. It was so good. The whole show is really a lot better. I would put it up there with Falcon and the Winter Soldier as far as things that I've enjoyed watching.
Yeah, definitely.
Oppai, I'm sorry. I feel like I left you out of the conversations. Is as we wrap up, because we are over time, and I apologize to our producer for not paying attention when she told me to wrap it up. But I wanted to just ask, like, what's coming next for you, and where can people find you online?
Oh, okay. Well, you guys can find me on all platforms at the Oppai Princess. Twitter is just Oppai Princess. What's coming next for me? I will be at a convention. I cannot say the convention yet because I can't say it yet. But if you are in the DMV area, get ready because this will be my first con guesting at that I've been to since I moved up here. So if you're in Maryland, look for me.
Good job, boo. Good job, Queen. Get it, Queen. This is just you're just at the tip of the iceberg. This is you have a big career in front of you, man.
I love it.
Imari, where can people find you? And what's coming next for you?
You can find me in the cosmos, floating around. No, you can find me on TikTok. I'm on Imari Speaks. You can find me in Instagram on Imari Speaks, and I guess I'll be back on X on Imari Speaks soon, whatever. But right now, I'm on Blue Sky Imari Speaks, TikTok Imari Speaks, as well as Instagram Imari Speaks. And if you have any questions or whatever, I'm down to I'm down to answer any questions or whatever, assuage any fears or all that stuff. So
okay, excellent. Nadia.
I am at Voices by Nadia on all social media platforms. I am unfortunately no longer on the TikTok, but you can find me everywhere else. And same thing with YouTube. And things coming up. Certain things are under NDA, so I cannot say.
NDA means money. Yay.
Yeah. It's gonna be good. So I think hopefully there's something coming out this month, April, and then sometime later this year that are going to be very exciting. And I'm excited to have people see me in these things because, it's been wonderful to play and to now be able to have other people experience the joy as well.
Okay. Carnell, what's going on with you?
What's going on? I am voicing two characters, the bad guy and the big bad in Beta Crystals. So look out.
Oh, nice, bro. Congratulations, man.
I appreciate you. That's about it, is at least for the voice acting. So I don't know the timeline for it, but if you look it up online, because I'm trying to remember off DreamArc Studios, Beta Crystal. Nice.
Okay. And what's your handle for where we can find you?
Find me at Carnell Holley, or at Carnell Holley Pictures. You just Google them and
okay, and you'll come up. Nice. And if you're looking for me, don't look too hard because I'll be trying to hide on social media.
Don't be hiding, girl.
You can find me on Instagram and Threads at Joyride08, vacillating between K-pop and social action. So, 1 minute I'm trying to take down the patriarchy and white supremacy, and the next minute I'm like, ooh, Bang Chan is cute. So it just depends what you get.
We love it.
But,
we love that. Because I do the same thing. There's many different layers to a handle. So good job for you, definitely.
Yeah. And somebody asked me once why Joyride 08. I always wanted a car with a personalized license plate on it, and nobody would ever let me get it. And then I just kind of gave up on it. But when I got like my first PlayStation where you had an online community, I put it up there, and I've been Joyride 08 ever since.
I'm adding all you guys right now. If you see me look at my phone, I'm adding right now. So
nice.
Same.
Nice.
That's all I'm doing.
Yay.
Yes, I will be giving fallback. And also, I've heard some of y'all mention like wanting to do like main characters or anime, etc. And we've talked between Moana Nui, Carnell Holley Pictures, Blurredography. We've talked to several people that have like people of color centered manga, like The Seventh Kingdom, RJ Atkinson. We were talking to like Captain Zero, their production team, and a few others. And I'm gonna take a wild shot in the dark. are y'all connected with them at all, or would y'all mind if we said, "Hey, check these people out when you're ready to take that step"?
No. Why would I?
No.
Sorry, thinking for the MC.
That is one of my favorite things to do, is connect people with folks they need to meet. So yeah.
I mean that's like this. I mean that's how we get to where we get. You know, like it's following the pedals, right? That lead up to to where you're going. You have to follow the pedals.
Yeah.
You gotta take all your leads, any lead. And right now, like I'm asking people how to get on camera. They're like, do everything. Like,
say yes. Yes.
Do all the workshops, do all the interviews, do all the scrap work. You know what I'm saying? Do all the corporate chords, do all that stuff. Practice. When you work your craft, you are creating energy, right? So I mean, I'll do scratch tracks for people if it won't lead anywhere. People call me, yo, Mark, can you do this? Like, put this voice. I don't know if they're going to probably use a woman's voice. So I'm like, great, I'll do it, because it puts me in their earshot. I don't know whenever it's gonna. I got my Taco Bell commercial that way by doing a scratch track. I got my Reese's Buttercup commercial by doing a scratch track. I didn't know if I was gonna get it or not. Any lead, you track that lead. You know what I'm saying? And you scrape and you save it and you work it to the best of your ability.
Right. I love that. And I think that's a great message to go out on, is, chase your dream, so to speak. But know what you can do, know yourself, be authentic to yourself, and then go get it. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Exactly.
With that, we will sign off. Be on the lookout for additional content like this. If you like what you saw tonight, make sure that you like and subscribe to Carnell Holley Pictures, to Moana Nui Podcast. Shout out to Blurredography, our other podcast partner that is in the audience today. And be looking for more content for us as we attend cons that are coming up. You can usually find us on like Mondays, Wednesdays, etc., doing blah, blah, blah in nerdy spaces, which is where this comes out. So when you saw him say we want to do like more Black women in nerdy spaces, we're absolutely going to tap y'all for that show. But thank you, everybody, for being here tonight and for sharing so much good information. This has been really informative. It was like a whole 101 class in like 90 minutes. So thank you all for being here.
Just thank you for the opportunity and for grouping me with these two fabulous queens right here. And I have to apologize to the Oppai Princess. I didn't know you were following me already, and I did not follow you back. I apologize for that.
I literally just followed you. It's okay.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, cool. No. I don't know if you're like, I don't know if I was like, I was like, ignore that, but I was like, I missed that. And Nadia, I've been following you, girl, since we first met, girl. So
That's true. Did we meet officially though? I don't know if we did.
Yeah, we did. We've met in person, have we? We not?
In passing at like VO Atlanta. But not
right, but that's where I met you first. Was it VO Atlanta, right? Or
right, but I don't think we actually like hello. I don't. It was just Instagram. We like skipped that. We went purely digital.
Skip that. I feel like I see. That's just that natural vibe. You know what I'm saying? That's that natural vibe. I love it because I'm like, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
All right. So, in the old school words of Russell Simmons, thanks for coming out. God bless and good night.
Thank you all.
We will see y'all next time. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. If this the land of the free, it was a freedom then. When they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves the Republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, yeah. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. Network of all the locals, school will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will. So if we put Hawaii in a perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course. Cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. Network of all the locals, school will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will.